Hey guys, it's Scylla Talks. Today we're going to take a look at the Amityville Murders, but before I start, I want to ask you guys to leave some suggestions for my upcoming videos in the comments down below. This doesn't have to be a story of any specific genre, it can be anything that you're interested in hearing more about. I would also really appreciate it if you would give this video a like, subscribe to my channel if you want to hear what I have to say, and share it with anybody that you think would like my content. Some of you may know the Amityville Horror. This is just one of the many movies and books written surrounding what took place in Amityville in 1973 and the aftermath. Ronald DeFeo Jr. was the eldest of 5 kids. His father worked at a car dealership and provided a comfortable life for the family. Ronald's parents expected a lot from him, but he couldn't live up to that. He was bullied by his classmates, and his father would often start fights with him and his mother. As Ronald grew up, he started becoming violent towards his family and friends, so his parents took him to see a psychiatrist. However, DeFeo did not like this at all and claimed that he didn't need help, so the visits stopped. DeFeo was still very violent, and his parents gave him money and lots of gifts, including a $14,000 speedboat, to try and calm down their son. At age 17, he was addicted to LSD and heroin, and his school kicked him out because of his unacceptable violent behavior. DeFeo obviously didn't live up to the expectations that his parents had, and his father got him a job at a car dealership. They didn't expect much from him, and even if he didn't show up, his father would still give him money every week. Ronald spent all this money on the car his parents gave him, drugs, and weapons. As time went on, DeFeo's behavior got even worse. He went on a hunting trip with a friend, threatened him at gunpoint, and later that day pretended that nothing had happened. He also tried to shoot his father when their parents were having another argument, but luckily the gun malfunctioned. The owner of the car dealership once trusted Ronald to bring $20,000 to the bank. DeFeo then planned a robbery with his friend and split the money. He got very angry when police came down to the car dealership for investigation and also didn't want to go to the police station to look at mugshots. His father suspected that Ronald had planned the robbery, but when he confronted him with it, Ronald threatened to shoot his dad, but this wasn't unusual. On the morning of the 13th of November 1974, DeFeo finally acted on his threats. He went to his parents' room with a .35 caliber Marlin rifle and shot both his parents in their sleep. Then he entered the room where his brothers would sleep and shot them both in their beds as well. To finish it off, he shot both his sisters. He then took a shower, got ready for work, put the weapon and his bloody clothes in a pillowcase, and went on his way. On the way there, he disposed of the pillowcase in a storm drain. He arrived at the dealership and pretended he didn't know why his father wasn't there. He called up the house and said no one was answering. Around noon, he left work to hang out with friends and made sure he mentioned multiple times that he couldn't reach his family. Then at 6 p.m. he returned home and called his friend, saying someone had broken into the house and killed his family. He told the police that his family was alive when he left, and when asked if he knew anyone that would harm his family, he named the mob hitman. However, the police found empty packaging from the bullets in Ronald's room, and they noticed that the whole family was still wearing pajamas, so they concluded the murders took place early in the morning when DeFeo was still there. So they questioned him again. He changed this story and said the mob hitman had threatened him and killed his family in front of his eyes. He kept changing the story until the police cracked him and got a confession. He said that once he had started killing, he just couldn't stop. There were some speculations about there being 2 killers for a while, and police also thought it was weird that no one woke up from the gunshots, not the neighbors and not the kids who were about to be killed. But this never led to anything in the investigation. Donald ended up being sentenced to life in prison 6 times for the 6 second-degree murders on his family members. So that's where the story ends, right? For Ronald, yes. He is still serving his time in prison, but the story doesn't entirely end there. After the murders, the Lutz family moved into the house where the killings had happened because it was very cheap at this point. But the Lutzes experienced some paranormal activities there and moved out after just 4 weeks. Some of the things they reported included: the father, George, would always wake up around 3:15 a.m., around the time the murders had happened. The whole family claimed to see green slime oozing out of the walls and keyholes, smell strange odors, and experience cold spots throughout the house. When a priest came to bless the house, he heard a voice scream to get out and warned the family to never sleep in that room. They also experienced the garage opening and closing, knives in the kitchen being knocked down when nobody was near them, a pig-like creature with red eyes staring at them, and the husband had seen his wife and sons levitate above their beds in their sleep. They took a lie detector test to prove they weren't lying, and they passed. However, the couple had financial issues, so some people believe they just needed the story to sell for money. The Lutz's former family lawyer also claimed he and the parents came up with the story over many bottles of wine. One of the sons claims the house has ruined his life and that it definitely wasn't fake. Since then, at least 4 other families have lived there, but all seem to move out rather quickly. Whether or not they experienced this paranormal activity is unclear. But what is very clear is that this murder has inspired many books, many movies, and who knows, maybe many other killers. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll see y'all next week.